I understand now that it's not so easy for my son to do asceticism practice at this age. And I forgot to ask, since his sadhya has started now, is there a risk that Saturn can overwhelm him with these asceticism practices during this period? Well, it has just started for him literally.
But asceticism practice only helps to endure sadhisati. It's the opposite. I simply don't know any other way to treat this illness. The method is what it is. There are no other options.
Well, I see. But maybe we can stretch it all out more gently over time?
You can stretch it out more gently, but you need to understand that if you don't follow the schedule, let's say you go once every 2 weeks instead of once every 5 days, then the blockage won't be cleansed. It will accumulate. A person goes through it, then everything accumulates again, and that's it.
These 3 asceticism practices to remove dynamic tension, static tension, and toxins. Toxins are removed by fasting, dynamic tension by walking and running, static tension is standing. But what about water, healing in water? What category does this belong to?
Water is for static tension. I'm going to tell you everything about it today. Today's entire lecture is about this.
My husband has epilepsy. He's taking pills now, but they're not helping him.
Epilepsy is toxins plus dynamic tension on the 5th energy layer. Well, more precisely, I need a photo to tell exactly. It might be toxins plus static tension or toxins plus dynamic tension. If he has toxins plus dynamic tension on the 5th layer, that means he needs 2.5 days of fasting and prolonged continuous movement for 4 hours. But you can't do this without static exercises. It would be an overload. Well, I'll tell you today. I'll explain everything about how to do it.
May I ask a second question about my friends? They live in Kiev. They contacted you 4 years ago about infertility. They seem to do what you recommended, but so far there are no results.
They need to do all these asceticism practices, as I said. If they do all, there will definitely be results. It means they didn't do everything. They might have only done walking and something else, but they have to do everything comprehensively. Otherwise, there won't be results. Well, is it this small darkening on his cheek that's worrying you?
It has gotten worse now. It was there 8-9 months ago, and now it's even darker.
This is just a pigment spot. The cause is a disruption, toxins in the 5th energy layer. This is metabolic disorder at the level of pigmented tissue.
What should we do?
Well, we need to do something about all of this. Excess weight is the main problem. That means toxins are accumulating in the person's body. He needs prolonged, continuous movement, plus fasting at the very least, but only if he wants to live this way. And he overeats significantly at night. You also need to lose excess weight. Excess weight is the foundation for all these problems in the body. What it will affect most is a matter of time. He has a very deep toxin-related problem in the 5th energy layer. These are hormonal functions, meaning there's a disruption in the body's regulation. And this disruption has affected melatonin production. That means pigmentation is occurring. This is increased skin pigmentation. And it appeared on his face. This is not some kind of dangerous disease. It's not cancer or anything. It's just like fat deposits, but with pigment deposits. This is just wrong metabolism, a disruption in his body function. There won't be any consequences from these spots. It won't turn into cancer. But fat is a very big problem. Once I had nothing to do and was just sitting and watching people passing by at the airport. And I saw that all thin people can live 25-30 years longer. Well, I was looking at people of age. And also I saw that all people who are overweight can live 10, 15, 5, 7 years, and that's it. Then stroke, heart attack, and it's over. All people who are overweight are walking corpses. Everyone who is overweight has a very high risk of body damage. Therefore, if you want to live long, the goal of your life is to get rid of excess weight at any cost and never accumulate it again. Because excess weight means toxins. At first, they either turn into cholesterol in blood vessels or turn into benign tumors, or later into malignant ones. Excess weight leads to high blood pressure and joint damage. But mainly all overweight people die from 3 things: stroke, heart attack, or cancer. These are the 3 options for overweight people. The only one cause of excess weight is wrong evening eating. When a person eats bread, meat, sweets, and dairy products in the evenings, they gain weight. And all this food turns into fat. People think that fat is just storage of nutrients in the body for hard times. No, my dears, that's not true. Fat is an incomplete digestion cycle. When food is not digested deeply enough, doesn't reach the cells, the body has no choice but to simply turn it into fat and store it in the body. And this storage actually happens when the body expects that a person will engage in prolonged continuous movement. Because prolonged continuous movement activates digestion. There are two forces that help a person digest their toxins, either the sun or prolonged continuous movement. The sun digests toxins only when there's nothing else to digest. If the sun is at its zenith, it digests everything in the body at maximum depth. But if a person overeats during this time, the sun will digest what's lying in the stomach. It won't digest what's stored in the body's reserves, so fat remains in the body. There are 3 stages of toxin accumulation. First stage, excess weight. Second stage, benign tumors. Third stage, malignant tumors. The cause of these 3 stages is blockage. The reason why fat accumulates is connected with blockages of happiness energy. We have the energy of happiness that moves in the body. It's responsible for the absorption of nutrients. There are 3 energies. The energy of eternity is responsible for movement in the body, for all types of movement. The energy of knowledge is responsible for the transformation of all substances. And the energy of happiness is responsible for absorption. And when a person is in depression, when they are in a bad mood, when they have negative emotions, overeat at night, and have insufficient movement, then they gradually accumulate toxins in their body. These accumulated toxins affect the body in 2 ways. The first way is by lowering immunity. Therefore, when a person is overweight, they are a suitable target for coronavirus, for the virus. I have an acquaintance who is the head of the infectious diseases department. I asked her, could you honestly tell me, are there people who get viral infections and it's practically impossible to help them? She told me, I know this for certain now, because there are so many such cases. If a person is admitted to the hospital who is overweight and has a very high temperature, up to 40 degrees, we can already call the morgue. It's practically impossible to cure such a person. The reason is toxins. The virus feeds and multiplies as a result of damage to microcapillaries. And microcapillaries are damaged by toxins. If microcapillaries are damaged, then the virus enters any part of the body as if it's its own home. This happens through microcapillaries. The barrier functions of the body are destroyed if there is excess weight. The infection can get anywhere at once. People who are overweight have a very weak health reserve, and that's why any difficult situation in their life causes catastrophic consequences. I have an acquaintance who used to have a wrong diet and had a lot of excess weight. As a result, he had pancreatic necrosis. He almost died. Now his kidneys are affected and other organs. Everything in the body has fallen apart. A person can remove excess weight by prolonged continuous movement plus fasting. But I will explain in the lecture how to do this. Getting rid of excess weight is not difficult, you just need to avoid overeating in the evenings. If a person is overweight, they should follow intermittent fasting. They should eat in the morning and at lunch, but not eat in the evening at all. And also they should engage themselves in prolonged continuous movement plus scheduled fasting, and gradually the excess weight will go away. In any case, when a person has started such a practice, they are no longer under any danger. Because they have started to heal their body, and the body will already begin to remove everything unnecessary. All these crises occur as a result of the influence of time. There are 2 types of time. There is time that gradually ages us, and there is a cyclical influence of time. And these cycles are a very dangerous thing. Time comes, and a person's health sharply deteriorates, and at this moment those people who have a weak health reserve immediately enter the risk zone for passing away. That's why when I look at a person's fate while they are walking past me, if they are 50 years old and overweight, I know for sure that they won't live past 60. If they are overweight at 30, then they will live until 55 years maximum. And then stroke, heart attack, or cancer.
How long will I live?
This is not a fair question. Because you need to understand that cyclical time affects a person. In 3 years, you will have a sharp deterioration in health.
In 3 years?
Whether you will live longer or not, nobody knows. Everything depends on how you live now. If you do everything right, you will pass this trial. And if you don't do it right, you won't last long. Some people say that it was written in their horoscope that they were destined to live to the age of 50. No, they could have lived to 80, they just lived wrong. When a person lives wrong, their health reserve is weaker than the ability to endure this difficult period that comes in their life, and as a result, they break down. A person can't withstand it. That's why we need to learn to live right, because time will come to every person. At some point, a bad period with health comes to every person. And if a person lives wrong, their heart suddenly stops, or they have a stroke or heart attack, or something else happens unexpectedly, and they call it sudden death. It's not sudden at all. That means the person lived wrong and got into such a situation. I also had a bad period 5 years ago. I had no strength. Even the gemstones that used to energize me and help me to lecture started to overload me. I removed all the gemstones. Only prolonged, continuous movement, stationary position of the body, and fasting saved me during that time. My strength was getting less and less and less. Well, not that I was supposed to die. I just told everyone, don't count on me. I don't have strength for all of you. I won't be able to pray for anyone. Pray for yourselves. I barely have enough strength just to survive. I continued giving lectures, and I had a very difficult period for 3 months. During this time, my father passed away because I couldn't pray for him, couldn't help him. Therefore, time comes for every person, and they need to pass the exam of their life based on how they lived before. It seems everything is fine now. It seems I can live now, and my health is not so bad, although I'm overweight. But this is now, and when a bad period comes, a person's health suddenly becomes worse. Here you ask me how long you will live. This is the wrong question, because how long you will live depends on you. You had a bad period 3.5 years ago. Then you survived, you had weakness, it was hard, it was bad, but you made it through. But whether you'll make it through in 3 years, it all depends on you now. And I won't say such nonsense like some astrologers do. You have this much time left to live. That's complete nonsense. A person always has a chance to live longer. Everything depends on their desire. If they want to live, then they live. And wanting to live means doing these 3 things: stationary position of the body, prolonged continuous movement, and fasting. This means that a person wants to live. And if they don't do these things, it means they don't want to live. Also, wanting to live means not eating at night. That means eating properly. Today I will tell you how you can eat at night.
Dr. Torsunov, can I ask about my partner? He does catering, lunches.
What does he do?
He does catering, makes festive lunches and dinners. When he works, he's under tension and can't eat. He comes home late in the evening. He eats so much that he devours the entire fridge.
You can eat in the evening. The question is what? Understand one thing. I can only help those who follow my advice. I cannot help someone simply by snapping my fingers.
I understand, Dr. Torsunov, but does it help him in any way if he doesn't eat all day?
To some extent. Because when hunger accumulates, a person's digestion naturally intensifies. However, you must understand that after the sun sets, there's nothing to aid digestion. Food is only digested through the energy of the sun, which accumulates during the day, along with prolonged, continuous movement. If a person, for example, ate and then took a walk for an hour afterward, there would still be something to rely on in the evening. But if a person simply eats, what will digest the food? The sun has already set. What will aid in digesting the food? A person also has the energy of the mind, which also helps digestion. However, he spent that energy too. After eating, a person's brain doesn't function well because all the mind's energy is directed toward digestion. However, if the person has already spent that energy, coming home tired in the evening, there's nothing left to digest the food. From what I can see, toxins are already accumulating in his body. He has excess weight and frequently gets colds. He is not living correctly. As a result, he cannot count on having a long life. In 4.5 years, this lifestyle will catch up with him. Either he will change his lifestyle and habits, or he will become a sick person. Living like this is only temporary. It may seem sustainable, but in reality, it lasts only until the first major setback. Then, the person's health deteriorates.
Doctors diagnosed me with glaucoma. They prescribed me drops, but my eyes hurt when I use them.
My dear, doctors also diagnosed me with glaucoma 5 years ago. They advised me against running, standing on my head, swimming in ice holes, or fasting, all of which they claimed were harmful to my eyes. I decided to try anyway. I run, and my eye pressure stays normal. I stand on my head, and it remains normal. I fast, and it remains normal. But when I look at the computer screen, my eye pressure increases. I learned to treat glaucoma differently. I selected seeds, which I attach here, to my ear with tape. Do you have an eye pressure device? You need to buy one. There's a handheld model called TVGD2.
I don't have pressure in my eyes. Does it need to be checked with a device?
Glaucoma means increased eye pressure. That's what the term itself refers to. Are you sure you're stating the diagnosis correctly? Could it be retinal detachment?
No, it's glaucoma.
Glaucoma means increased eye pressure. I can select seeds for you and place them correctly. You can measure and report what's happening if you have the device. We will adjust the seeds accordingly. This is a personalized approach. If you wear these seeds and follow all my recommendations, there will be no eye pressure and you won't need drops at all. I don't use them. I tried them once and my eye wrinkled. It didn't like them. So, I learned to regulate my eye pressure. I learned to select seeds and developed a new method. Now I wear seeds. I can control my eye pressure as needed. Currently, my pressure is 19. It used to be 40.
And what's normal?
Between 19 and 20. Like a cosmonaut, my eye pressure is now normal. I regulate it with the seeds and a healthy lifestyle. What is the cause of eye pressure? Why did I still have high eye pressure despite living healthily? It's because I spend all day looking at the computer. That's the main reason. Using a computer increases eye pressure. For some people, the increase is minor, so they don't notice it. I began researching this and discovered that everyone has increased eye pressure from working with computers.
But what about those people who don't work with computers?
That's possible, yes. A healthy lifestyle heals eyes. I've had increased eye sensitivity since childhood. In my childhood, I couldn't fall asleep when the light was on. When the light is on, I just can't fall asleep. It's due to increased sensitivity. If someone leads a correct lifestyle and cleanses their body, their eye pressure naturally normalizes. But since looking at a computer is unhealthy, it strains the eyes. That's why I support mine with seeds. You can do the same. I don't know any other way to treat this. When I talked to a professor, I asked him if there were reflexology methods for treating glaucoma. He said no. Are there any medicines? No. He said the only way is to use eye drops. But I'm offering you another method that nobody knows about. Only I can do this. Select seeds specifically for you to normalize your eye pressure. You can contact Amrita, our medical center. They will send you everything remotely via the internet.
Don't glasses with special coating help?
I don't know. I haven't studied that.
Dr. Torsunov, good afternoon. I wanted to ask how to help my husband. He has excess weight. How do I approach it without hurting his feelings?
We can always help someone through prayer. First, we need to help through prayer. We need to pray. Calmness arises in the heart. Once calmness arises, you gain influence. That is, you tell him, and he listens to you. Your words resonate. Then the third stage comes. He changes. You always need to set an example. Do things the right way yourself and tell him how good it makes you feel. Share your experience with him.
When we eat, I do this, but he gets offended.
My dears, there's no point in asking me about people who don't listen to my lectures. I cannot help them. I can only help those willing to help themselves.
What stones stimulate the body?
I won't explain this in this lecture. This is a separate topic. You can order stones from our wellness center. They will help heal you. Body stimulation is possible only if a person is healthy. Gemstones can help a healthy person. They greatly energize a person. But if someone is sick, we treat them with different stones. This is called a black and white scheme. This is yin and yang, black and white. We place mainly black stones on the wrist and white stones on the fingers, all tailored to an individual's needs according to a specific scheme. These stones help remove dynamic tension in the body. While they don't completely remove it, they help significantly to regulate the body. We have different treatment methods. We can partially remove static tension in the body and regulate it. We've had success treating conditions like autism and cerebral palsy. But if a person doesn't do recommended practices, it's impossible to heal them. Because for treatment to work, they must receive energy from nature. When people start treatment with us, they wear our remedies for a while and then stop wearing them because they feel worse. This happens because they wear it and spend energy. All types of treatments on earth don't actually heal. They only redistribute energy within the body. For instance, treatments like acupuncture, homeopathy, or herbal remedies do not heal. They merely redistribute the body's existing energy as it should be. If someone lacks energy and doesn't receive it from nature, nothing will help them. Therefore, you need to fill yourself with energy first and then redistribute it as you wish. There's no issue with that. Otherwise, nothing else will help. I know all the methods. I can heal using homeopathy, stones, or herbs. By pressing points, I can even heal with hand movements, but this only works if a person has energy. It's like in the movie, save yourself if you can. And those who can't? Well, those who can't simply don't save themselves. What's your question?
I have many questions, but the main one is about health. How can I get rid of my diagnoses? I want to live. I have 2 autoimmune diseases.
I will spend this entire lecture explaining how to get rid of diagnoses. The methodology is the same for everyone. Autoimmune diseases are caused by blockages in the 5th energy layer. These blockages are toxins in the 5th layer. To clear them, you need to fast for 2.5 days. However, you must also prepare before fasting because fasting is the final asceticism practice that should be undertaken. When it comes to diseases and what I do, it's all the same for everyone. There's no difference.
Good afternoon, Dr. Torsunov. Thank you very much for your work and for your lectures. I wanted to ask a question. I have many problems, but the main one, I think, is insomnia, which has lasted for many years. Is it possible to get rid of it?
This is a complex issue. It's about the ability to relax and release tension before sleep. Naturally, you should perform all the asceticism practices that I will recommend. However, sometimes this alone is not enough. We have additional methods that can help, including a relaxation scheme and the seeds we provide at Amrita. You should contact our center, follow the practices that I will explain shortly, and apply the seeds and the relaxation routine. Additionally, it's beneficial to use the black and white stone scheme. I also experience disturbed sleep. I use all these methods and I always achieve good sleep because I help my body to relax. The root cause of my sleep disturbance is tension. I have a very intense lifestyle with frequent flights. In general, I've always had sensitive sleep. However, by placing stones at night using seeds and applying bandages with specific herbs, I manage to maintain good sleep. I call this a relaxation scheme. It helps to fall asleep in any situation. I also have an assistant who struggles with insomnia. She couldn't fall asleep before, but now that she has started using these methods, her sleep has improved significantly. We can deal with this condition using a comprehensive approach.
Thank you. Mine also started due to tension.
I can give you some advice right now. You'll need linden flowers, linden honey, and shilajit. Heat up a glass of hot water and dissolve half a match head-sized amount of shilajit in it. Stir until it dissolves completely. Next, brew an infusion using 1 tablespoon of linden flowers per glass of water. Add linden honey to taste. Sweeten it a bit so that it's not bitter, and drink it before bed. This will improve your sleep by 15-20%.
Thank you.
This is the advice I can give you right now. I will now explain the method itself. Today is our theoretical day, so you'll be listening a lot and taking notes. By the end, your brains will feel overwhelmed because I will be explaining the entire methodology to you. As I mentioned earlier, there are 3 energies that the soul has, on which our health depends. These energies are the energy of happiness, the energy of knowledge, and the energy of eternity. Each of these energies moves within the body, but their movement can become blocked. When this movement is blocked, bodily functions are disrupted, leading to chronic diseases. In reality, chronic diseases are not regulatory disorders of the body, as doctors often believe. The body has an inherent ability to easily regulate itself. It doesn't have any problems with this at all. The body knows exactly what to do to remain healthy. If this weren't true, none of us would be walking and living here today. Every person's body naturally deals with all problems on its own. The only issue is that the body needs energy to do this effectively. If there's insufficient energy, bodily functions are disrupted. Therefore, if we allow energy to enter the body restores everything naturally. I've tested all this on myself. The biggest problem in my life was my lumbar spine. I travel extensively, circling the earth twice in a year. I fly approximately 80,000 kilometers per year. When you sit for long hours in a plane, the vibrations impact your lower back. The vibrations travel downward, affecting the lumbar region. When I understood all these methods and started practicing them, my lumbar vertebrae began to hurt after about 3 years of running. Specialists told me it was because I was over 50 and advised against running, suggesting I should only walk. Otherwise, my lumbar vertebrae will wear out. They perceive the body as a machine, like a car with brake pads that wear out and need replacement. They don't understand that the human body can regenerate. My vertebrae started hurting because they were healing. Each vertebra took half a year to heal and then stopped hurting. Over the course of 3 years, my entire lower back healed completely. All the pain in my vertebrae disappeared. Now the healing has moved to my sacrum. I never used to feel my sacrum before, but now it aches. The healing process keeps moving progressively downward. It started healing from the top. First, the hip joints healed, then the knee joints healed, which were aching. Each joint ached and then stopped. The aching does not imply sharp pain. Rather, it's a dull discomfort that eventually passes. Then the process moves to the next joint, then the next, and so on. This is how my entire body has gone through the healing process. When you give your body energy, the body repairs itself. I have even seen how this practice can lead to the healing of heart defects and kidney issues. Not at the stage of chronic renal failure when dialysis is needed. I haven't seen such cases, but before dialysis at this stage, kidneys can recover using this practice. I have an acquaintance. His kidneys are getting better and better. Every organ in our body can recover. My retina has recovered. I had neglected the situation with my left eye. My visual field started to narrow there. I began doing everything correctly. I used seeds, and everything recovered. Everything in my eye works normally now, even though I'm already 58. Doctors think that the body needs help with regulation, and that pills are needed to help regulate it. But nothing like that exists. The body knows perfectly well how to regulate itself. We just don't give it the strength to do so. We don't give it energy. We are lazy. We don't want to live properly. That's why the body suffers. There is plenty of nature's energy, but we don't take it to live normally. So let's start from the beginning. A person has subtle energy in their body that gives strength to their entire body to live. There are 3 types of this subtle energy. The energy of eternity. In Ayurveda, it's called prana, pranic energy. The second type is the energy of knowledge. It's also called tejas. The third type is the energy of happiness. It's called ojas in Sanskrit. I'm telling you these Sanskrit terms so you understand that I didn't make all this up. Ancient people knew all these things. We have 5 subtle energy layers in our body. It's like a nesting doll, 5 dolls inside. This idea was actually invented by ancient people because they knew this secret. We are like nesting dolls. We have 5 dolls inside, 5 energy layers, one inside another, specifically one inside another. To get to the last doll, you need to work to open each of the previous dolls. It's the same for healing a person. To treat the 5th layer, the deepest one, you need to get to it first. If you walk for an hour a day, you'll never reach it. To reach it, you need to walk continuously for 4 hours. That's why people accumulate diseases inside, because they don't reach the point of healing them. They don't give energy to the body. They don't perform enough asceticism practices. Let's study these layers. Let's see how they are structured. The outermost energy layer is responsible for our interaction with nature, weather, and people. There are people who strongly react to climate changes. For example, a person feels unwell when atmospheric pressure changes. When temperature or humidity changes, this means they have energetic blockages at the most superficial layer, at the very first layer of the body. Some people find it difficult to communicate with others. They don't even want to leave their house. This means the energetic blockages are located in the very first superficial layer of the body. Treating them is not difficult in principle because even small asceticism practices can cleanse the very first layer. But a person lives passively and doesn't want to do anything, so they suffer. The very first layer is connected with our workability and with our ability to interact with this world. The next layer is connected with our character and health. We call it the second layer. The second layer is connected with a person's emotions. Do you understand what emotions are? It's when a person's first reaction to everything is something like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you." These are emotions. A person reacts emotionally. The second layer is connected with emotions, and it's connected with a person's skin, with mucous membranes such as throat, bronchi, stomach, and intestines. Reproductive organs also have mucous membranes. Disorders of reproductive organs are also located in the second layer. All of these are connected with emotions. The second layer is connected with the lymphatic system, with a person's immune system. What do emotions affect? The skin. If a person has a skin disease, it means their emotional function is disturbed. Mucous membranes, gastritis, for example, or stomach ulcer. Constipation in the intestines is also connected to emotions. There are 3 types of emotional dysfunction. The first type of dysfunction is when a person has suppressed emotions. For example, if I tell a joke and everyone laughs but someone doesn't find it funny, this means their emotions are suppressed. Emotions don't get stimulated. They simply watch. Sometimes they only react later, as if slow on the uptake. They sit there, everyone has already finished laughing, and they begin to laugh only later. They took time to process it. This shows that their emotions are affected. Their energy of eternity suffers. They become suppressed. The energy of eternity suffers. When the energy of eternity suffers, the skin becomes dry. It itches. Mucous membranes dry out. Spasms occur. When the circulation of the energy of eternity is disturbed, spasms happen. The skin becomes dry and mucous membranes become pale and dry. Emotions are suppressed and mucous membranes are constricted. When the circulation of the energy of knowledge is disturbed, static tension occurs. The energy of eternity is dynamic tension. A dynamic blockage means the energy of eternity is disturbed. We have just described this. But there is also a static blockage of the energy of knowledge. When the energy of knowledge suffers, a person's emotions become hypersensitive. They might say, "Oh, leave me alone. I can't listen to you." A person becomes very sensitive. They react quickly to everything, quickly and sharply. This is static tension. The skin becomes inflamed, eczema, allergic reactions, allergy, inflammatory processes in the stomach, bronchi, intestines, and reproductive organs. All of this is connected to the second energy layer. This means irritable, resentful, and angry emotions. Static tension accumulates heat in the body. Heat in the second layer affects the skin and mucous membranes. They suffer. Finally, the third type of emotional affliction is when the energy of happiness gets blocked. This often manifests as negative emotions. For example, "Just leave me alone. I'm sick of everyone." These are negative emotions. A person expresses negative emotions. Toxins accumulate in the mucous membranes. Skin swelling occurs. The skin becomes swollen. Psoriasis and neurodermatitis accumulate on the skin, and skin diseases develop. There is a tendency towards viral infections. Toxins accumulate on the skin and in the nasal canals, leading to viral infections. Toxins affect microcapillaries in the mucous membrane. A person becomes susceptible to colds and infections. They catch all sorts of colds. Frequent colds indicate toxins in the second energy layer and negative emotions.
Is the second energy layer connected with knowledge?
The second energy layer is connected with emotions. The energies of knowledge, eternity, and happiness work in all 5 layers of the subtle energy body.
But differently?
Differently, yes. The energies work the same way but affect different organs.
What are these energy layers called in Sanskrit?
They aren't called anything in Sanskrit. This is my discovery. This knowledge was not part of the teachings in Sanskrit. I discovered these layers myself. Ancient scientists probably knew about them. They certainly knew about them, but this knowledge has been lost. It is not documented in Ayurveda. I know for certain these energy layers exist. Because I can see them, I can tell any person where they have energetic blockages in which layer. I can see how they get cleansed, leading to healing. A person gets healed. This is a separate science. I have studied this for 8 years already. I discovered these energy layers 8 years ago, and I've been studying them for 8 years now. It's clear to me what happens with a person's body. I have developed a methodology for healing these energy layers. The third energy layer is connected with thoughts. That's where we think. A person's thoughts affect the blood vessels, joints, except for shoulder and hip joints. All joints of arms, legs, joints, blood vessels, muscles, and ligaments. All of this is the third energy layer. In modern society, we mainly work with thoughts. That's why cardiovascular diseases are the main problem in today's society. Why? Because we overload our blood vessels with our excessive thinking, with our thoughts. How did people work before? They mowed with scythes. It was mainly physical labor. Now it's mental work. People think. Therefore, blood vessels are affected. When there's a dynamic blockage, the energy of eternity suffers, and spasms occur in the blood vessels. Migraines, headaches, and high blood pressure occur. Joint pains stem from dynamic blockage. Muscles become tense. As a result, sciatica develops. When there's static tension or a static blockage in the third energy layer, it causes inflammatory processes. When there's inflammation in blood vessels, blood pressure drops significantly. A person experiences dizziness and body heat. Inflammation in joints follows. You know what that's like. Joints swell up and become red. Inflammation in muscles occurs, myositis, and muscle pain. How does a dynamic blockage manifest in thoughts? A person has constrained thinking, they cannot express their thoughts, or they keep repeating the same thing. They have the same thoughts going around in circles. Do you remember a joke about crayfish? The crayfish were very big for $5, but that was yesterday. Today they cost $3, but they are small, but today. Yesterday the crayfish were very big for $5, huge beasts for $5, but yesterday. Today they are for $3 but small, but yesterday the crayfish were very big. And so goes the whole joke, constantly repeating the same thing. These mental loops signal that a person has a blockage of dynamic tension in the third energy layer. They will have high blood pressure. There will be spasms in blood vessels or pain in muscles and joints. A static blockage at the thought level means very sensitive thoughts. Why did you say that? How could you say such a thing? A person reacts to thoughts, gets offended, and becomes angry. A person reacts along the lines, Mamma mia, they cannot tolerate anything. This causes inflammatory processes in blood vessels and joints. Then there's a negative attitude, negative thoughts. What are negative thoughts? A person thinks negatively about everything. What kind of lecture is this? Everything is bad. Negative thoughts. Negative thoughts also have physical effects, like cholesterol accumulation in blood vessels.
From negative thoughts?
Yes, cholesterol in blood vessels, osteoarthritis in joints, excess weight. Subcutaneous fat is also connected with the third energy layer. Negative thoughts lead to overeating in the evenings. A person terrorizes the refrigerator and becomes a refrigerator terrorist.
How do thoughts affect this?
A person simply can't go to sleep if they don't improve their mood. They eat to lift their mood in the evening. All toxins accumulate in the stomach instead of the head, resulting in excess weight. Subcutaneous fat accumulates. Damage to blood vessels occurs, as I mentioned at the beginning of the lecture, along with damage to joints and muscles. Cholesterol accumulates in blood vessels in the third energy layer. This blockage stems from toxins. What is a blockage? It means that the energy of substance absorption is weak. This hinders the absorption of cholesterol in blood vessels. It's simply not absorbed, therefore it accumulates. As a result, the energy of happiness enters a person, but it cannot function properly at the level of the third energy layer. Imagine, on the third energy layer, a person's digestion suffers. Their body doesn't absorb cholesterol, which gets deposited in blood vessels. Why? Because there's a negative attitude in thoughts. This negative attitude doesn't allow the energy of happiness to pass through. That's it. This is the cause of atherosclerosis. Not because a person eats something wrong. Certainly, if you regularly eat eggs and lard at night, there will be more fat, that's for sure. You should eat greens in the evening. Green food. Horses understand that they need to eat greens. Horses know that they should eat greens. But we don't know that.
Raw greens?
Both stewed and raw are fine. By the way, stewed greens greatly improve sleep. If you eat stewed greens in the evening, it relaxes you right away.
What kind of greens? Parsley?
Lettuce, leaves, and spinach are the best. There's also chicory here. Radicchio and chicory salad also improve sleep. They are suitable to be eaten at night. Palarosa is also a chicory salad.
What does this chicory salad look like?
It comes in various forms. Sometimes it comes in heads, and sometimes it is elongated like Chinese cabbage.
Here they mostly stew it.
Stop talking, everyone. Listen to the lecture. As soon as you heard about salad, you started talking. All right, calm down, silence. Let's move on. The fourth energy layer is connected with a person's mood or attitude. I want to go to work. I don't want to go to work. Good mood, bad mood. This layer is connected with mood. Got it? The fourth energy layer is very important. In the body, it's connected with all internal organs. Thyroid gland, kidneys, liver, heart, pancreas, and the female reproductive organs are also in the fourth energy layer. It's also connected with brain tissue, skull bones, and spine. And shoulder joints, hip joints, and femoral joints are also on the fourth layer. Lots of organs are connected with this energy layer, as well as bones. A lot in the human body depends on mood. I'm in a good mood today, which means everything is working normally in the body. And if the mood is bad, then everything works poorly. When dynamic energetic blockage affects it, the energy of eternity suffers. When a person has issues in the fourth energy layer, they develop spasms in internal organs. There's a disruption in energy flow. Internal organs begin to atrophy. When the energy of knowledge suffers or there's static tension, then inflammatory processes occur in internal organs. How does disruption in energy flow manifest through mood? How to determine this? A person has a tense mood. They're so tense. The person really feels the tension. This means they feel mental tension in their mood. This means the mood is suffering. When a person is irritable, just really irritable, has a sensitive mood like, "Leave me alone. What do you want from me?" It manifests through irritability. This means there's a static energetic blockage in the mood. This means inflammatory processes are affecting the organs. And if a person has depression, that means they have a blockage in the fourth energy layer. If someone suffers from depression, they will develop not subcutaneous fat, but deep fat. Mesenteric fat will be produced in the body. And toxins will accumulate in the liver. This leads to cirrhosis. If toxins accumulate in the kidneys, this leads to kidney failure. Toxins will accumulate in the pancreas, causing diabetes. If in the lungs, it causes chronic pneumonia, tuberculosis. If in the brain, it means today I don't remember, tomorrow I don't remember.
All of this is static tension, depression, bad mood, and so on.
These are all toxins. It takes 2 days of fasting to remove them. The fourth energy layer is deep in the body. It's not easy to reach it. Therefore, what's the conclusion? We need to eat less. Or rather, you can eat as much as you want, just not late in the evening. At lunch, I eat well, like a little elephant. And in the evening, only fruits, nothing else at all. Just fruits and dried fruits, that's all. When I give lectures, I overheat, so I also eat a little ice cream at night. And that's all. At home, I don't eat anything, only fruits in the evening.
And if sleep is affected, should we not eat fruits?
If sleep is affected, that means a person is overheated. Fruits cool you down, except for citrus fruits. Therefore, fruits in the evening are very good for an overheated person. If, like you, a person feels cold instead, then eat stewed greens, stewed vegetables in the evening.
I don't feel cold, I feel hot.
Then you can eat fruits. So the fifth energy layer is the most important one. On the fifth layer is located a person's happiness, a person's knowledge, and a person's will. All these energies that I listed exist in their initial form on the fifth energy layer.
Happiness, will, and what else?
And knowledge. Therefore, when the fifth layer suffers, it's really bad. A person has no happiness in life if the fifth layer is affected. They become schizophrenic or mentally ill. That means there's no knowledge, they don't understand anything, living like in the fog. Or their mood suffers. A person doesn't want to live, either doesn't want to live or has no happiness. If you don't want to live, it means your will is affected and you have no desire to live. No happiness means the energy of happiness is blocked. And when the energy of knowledge is blocked, a person's psyche can't comprehend anything. The nervous system and hormonal functions are located in the fifth energy layer. If there are blockages there, these 3 types of blockages, the nervous system suffers and hormonal functions suffer in the fifth layer. So, you've learned about all the layers, what happens there. You've become very, very advanced specialists in this field. Now we will study how to help ourselves, how to live correctly, what to do. As they say, life is good, but living well is even better. So we will learn to live even better, right? Let's start from the beginning. First thing you should know, the most dangerous and fastest thing that accumulates in the body is the energy of knowledge or static tension, blockages, static energetic blockages. They are connected with irritability. Therefore, the main problem for people is irritability. Everyone is very nervous, constantly getting offended, getting angry. The energy of knowledge creates heat in the body, and this is the most dangerous force. Heat is the most dangerous. Therefore, rule number 1, if we haven't cleansed the body from heat, from static tension, then all other asceticism practices cannot be performed. They will lead a person to overload. And when a person performs prolonged continuous movement, they also heat up. Consequently, overheating adds to overheating, and a person has static tension, a static blockage. They reach this blockage when walking. And their pulse rises, they can't go further, they start feeling unwell. Or when a person is fasting, then heat also increases in the body during fasting. A person reaches the blockage, they feel weakness from fasting, they start feeling unwell. This means they've reached this blockage. Therefore, first we treat static tension. As you all have terrible static tension in your body, therefore there is passive treatment or removal of this general tension, and there is cleansing of energetic blockages. Remember, when a person performs asceticism practice, they cleanse blockages, and it's important to cleanse blockages to remove them. It's like clearing a road from cars. Cars are parked on the sides of the road, it's impossible to pass, they need to be removed by a tow truck. Performing asceticism practices is similar to using a tow truck to remove cars from the road and make the highway free for movement. You can drive freely, at speed, without problems. These are asceticism practices. And there is passive cleansing. Passive means that you don't do anything, you just enter the water. The water does everything for you. It's called passive cleansing. Passive cleansing with water removes the overall heat in the body. Since your son has a tremendous overall heat, therefore it's very important for him to interact with water. Just being in the water will eliminate about 40% of the problem.
How long should he stand in the water?
No questions. I know everything I need to tell you. You'll learn everything. Just sit and listen, that's all. Otherwise, the lecture will be chaotic. So remember that contact with water removes overall heat, and the stationary position of the body cleanses energetic blockages. Now, another possible option for passive cleansing of static tension. This is sitting with your back against trees. Sit relaxed near a tree. If it's warm, you can sit on the ground. If it's cold, you can use a camping chair. It takes 20 minutes to cleanse one energy layer. So when you sit continuously for 1 hour and 40 minutes near a tree, all 5 layers of the human energy field are cleansed. You cleanse your entire body from static tension. Passive cleansing is happening. But trees also cleanse energetic blockages a little bit. This is an exception. That means that trees can passively cleanse blockages a little bit. And this is good, for example, for small autistic children who won't stand still. Then you can heal them using the energy of trees. If a person stands near a tree, the cleansing is even stronger. This is the most powerful cleansing. When a person not just stands straight, but also stands near a tree, the tree will deeply cleanse the body. Static tension is removed by stationary position of the body. This is the strongest cleansing. A person removes energetic blockages. Next, with water, we remove the overall heat in the body, and we remove overall static tension with trees. Trees also remove overall heat in the body and also affect blockages to a small degree. And this is what you'll have to do first. Remove static tension, static cleansing. This needs to be done first. Dynamic tension is removed by fresh air, passive cleansing. A person just sits outside, the wind blows, and over some time, approximately 30-40 minutes, one energy layer is cleansed. Everything depends on the wind strength and air temperature. For example, if a person sits outside at minus 20 degrees, one energy layer gets cleansed in 1 or 2 minutes. And if they sit outside at plus 20 degrees, one energy layer gets cleansed in half an hour. Passive cleansing by air depends on the ambient temperature, and the presence of mountains also improves it. When a person sits outdoors in the mountains, the cleansing goes faster than on the plains, and in the lowlands it goes even slower. And when a person walks, during walking the dynamic blockages in the body are cleansed. And also dynamic tension is removed through contact with water above 29 degrees, or air, the temperature of which is above 29 degrees. Accordingly, in dry steam we can withstand up to 120 degrees, but 55-degree water is hot. A person can't withstand it. People can't endure water temperatures above 55 degrees. Accordingly, you can only do cleansing at a temperature that you can tolerate. The higher the temperature, the stronger the cleansing. But if a person is in a sauna, for example, and it's hot for them but not too hot, then approximately one energy layer is cleansed in 10 minutes. Meaning it will take 50 minutes in a sauna where it's not too hot to cleanse all 5 layers of the human energy field. This is dynamic cleansing. Prolonged continuous movement, fresh air and sauna, it's all the same type of cleansing. It will be the same type of cleansing. Toxins and excess weight are cleansed through fasting. There are 2 types of fasting. Water fasting is more delicate because when a person fasts, they absorb the energy of the sun into their body. But the sun heats up the person accordingly. If they drink water, they cool down, creating a balance. When a person's solar channels are clean, they can fast without water, and they won't be stressed or overheat without water. They can start practicing fasting without water. And you can expose yourself to the sun, and the sun will also cleanse you of toxins. In Italy, the sun is not too strong but not too weak. That means in the morning summer sun, it cleanses one energy layer in 30 minutes. Accordingly, 5 layers take 150 minutes. It is 2.5 hours, but in case the sun is bright enough, moderately strong sun. Now we're getting to the methodology, what you asked for, how long, what, and how to do it. So we always start with water first. Water is what passively cleanses static tension. But if you stand against a wall for 65 minutes, about half of you will faint. Why? Because you'll reach a blockage. Let's say at around the 30th or 35th minute, you'll start feeling heat in your body, a sharp drop in blood pressure, and you'll faint. Therefore, to prevent you from falling like pencils to the floor, when you're standing, you need to reduce the overall force of static tension. To make it easier to maintain a stationary position of the body, you need to first stay in water. The most comfortable temperature is 28 degrees. But as always and everywhere, it's not that simple. If you stay in 28-degree water, you need to stay there for 70 minutes. We were sitting in the lake today in 10-degree water, only for 16 and a half minutes. And when I got into water in Riga at 0.7 degrees, less than 1 degree, it took 4.5 minutes to cleanse all 5 energy layers. Do you feel the difference between 4.5 minutes and 70? If you want to be in comfortable water, it will take longer. And the speed of cleansing, the power of cleansing is different. Ice-cold water cleanses stronger than warm water. But if a person is seriously ill, has active inflammatory processes in the body, then it's better not to get into ice-cold water. It's better to cleanse with warm water, starting with 28 degrees. So you can do this. The static tension in the body ideally accumulates over 4 days. After 4 days, it has accumulated. Therefore, if you do nothing else except cleansing with the energy of water, it's better to go to the pool once every 4 or 5 days, for example. If you don't have bathtubs in your apartments here, so you need to go to the pool. Go to a pool and swim. You can swim there for 70 minutes. In the bathtub, also lie for 70 minutes in 28-degree water. Lie there, listen to a lecture, read a book, something positive. If a person is in contact with nature's energy and thinks negatively about something, they will only make it worse for themselves. You need to wish happiness to everyone, rejoice, pray, do whatever you want. You shouldn't eat in the bathtub. I'm saying just in case. You live in Italy.
Finally, you said something positive.
One of the positive things.
Dr. Torsunov is very kind. 2 or 3 weeks is enough. Approximately 6 to 8 water procedures are sufficient to significantly reduce static tension in the body, and then move on to static exercises. The simplest static exercise that practically everyone can do is the butterfly pose, feet together, knees apart, back slightly bent. That's how small children sit, with their feet together. This is the butterfly pose. How to do it? A simplified version of the butterfly pose is when you sit on a soft couch with your knees apart and feet together. Your feet are slightly lower, and lean back on the couch. This is such an Italian easy version of a static exercise. It takes 13 minutes to cleanse 1 energy layer. Accordingly, you sit in the butterfly pose and pray. The best thing is to pray during this time. It takes 65 minutes to cleanse all 5 layers. And you can easily determine where you have a blockage. You sit for 20 minutes fine, 25 minutes fine, 30 minutes fine. After 35 minutes, your legs start to swell. A feeling of numbness in the legs, swelling, and heat in the body appears. This means you've reached a blockage. Let's count where the blockage is, on which layer. 13 minutes is 1 layer, 26 minutes, 2nd layer, from 26 to 39, 3rd layer. So, on the 3rd layer, where the blood vessels are, you have a blockage. You can easily determine it. Then you continue sitting, and the numbness in your body increases, and it doesn't subside. This means you haven't cleansed your energetic blockage. How to determine if you've cleansed the blockage? If swelling started at 35 minutes and at 43 minutes it began to subside and you felt better again, this means that you've cleansed the energetic blockage. And if you keep feeling worse and worse, it means you haven't cleansed the blockage.
What should we do?
What to do? You can stop doing the butterfly pose, sit normally for a minute, and then go back to the pose, and you will continue moving forward. If you change your body position for too long, it means you have to start the cleansing process over again. But if you continue, after giving yourself a little break, then you will continue cleansing. Though this cleansing will be very superficial, it's better than doing nothing at all.
How long should the break be? To make legs feel better?
As soon as your legs feel a bit better, return to the pose. Don't take more than 1 minute, otherwise everything will start over again. Don't take very long breaks.
What about tingling? Is this also clearing a blockage?
Yes. If your body goes numb, you feel heat in the body, swelling. This means that you have reached a blockage. And if you start feeling tingling, numbness disappears, swelling goes away, tingling starts, and especially when you feel lightness, then it means you've cleansed the blockage. If you feel tingling throughout the body, it means the blockage is being cleansed. And if lightness in the body begins, that's it. The blockage is removed. Static blockages interfere with blood circulation in the body. That's why the body goes numb. Some people think the body goes numb because they're sitting incorrectly, sitting uncomfortably. No, my dears, these are blockages. When static tension is very strong, it will be uncomfortable to live at all. It will be uncomfortable to stand, uncomfortable to sit, uncomfortable to lie down. The body will keep swelling all the time. This means that your static tension in the body is off the charts. You need to get in the water. And water will remove this excess static tension. Is it clear? So, the butterfly pose. If you're going to do it, this exercise should be done once every 3 days. This is minimum. If you do it less frequently, static tension builds up again. It accumulates very quickly in a few days. I try to do it every day. It's better to alternate. If doing it every day, then do one static position one day and another position the next day. 65 minutes is the maximum. No need to do more.
What if I do the same pose every day?
If it's the same one, that's also fine. Which one?
Diamond pose.
Diamond pose is a good position. Excellent. The butterfly pose heals female diseases. It heals the lower body, joints, legs, lower back, but it doesn't heal the head, doesn't heal the spine, doesn't heal the upper body. To heal the upper body, you need to sit in the diamond pose at least. What is the diamond pose, simplified diamond pose? If you've been doing the butterfly pose on a couch with back support for 3, 4, 5 months, then you can try sitting without back support. This will be a more challenging body position. It will be harder to sit. It will be difficult again. Everything will start swelling again. And if you sit on a hard surface without back support, that will be a complicated butterfly pose. You need to work up to this because you won't be able to sit in the diamond pose. It's an even more challenging static exercise. What is a simplified diamond pose? The diamond pose is when your buttocks are on your heels. This is the diamond pose.
Is it also called the disciples pose?
Yes, it's also called the disciples pose. Who can demonstrate the diamond pose? Will show us. Come out here and show us. Show the butterfly pose first.
I haven't done the butterfly pose.
Put your feet together. This is butterfly pose. And bend slightly forward.
Where do we put our hands?
Put your hands somewhere. You can hold your feet with your hands.
Is this the butterfly pose?
Yes, that's the butterfly pose. The diamond pose is like this. This is the diamond pose. Now this is the diamond pose. Did you understand how to do the diamond pose? Is it clear to everyone?
Should the feet be lying flat?
They can either lie flat or you can leave them like this. That's also fine.
What if my leg is injured and I can't sit?
That's okay. Then you need to sit on something soft. You can sit in the diamond pose, but it won't bend completely.
Can we put a small pillow underneath?
Yes, you can use a small pillow.
I have disturbed capillary function in my knee.
This means you have static tension accumulating in the lower body. Capillaries always suffer because energy doesn't flow. If there's static tension, blood circulation will suffer. That's it.
Is the butterfly pose better in this case?
We start with the butterfly pose. It's easier, and then we move to the diamond pose. The simplified diamond pose is when we put a small pillow between the legs and sit on it so that the buttocks don't touch the calves. It's easier on a pillow. If you sit directly on your heels, it's already difficult. It's easier to sit in the diamond pose on a pillow. I also accumulate a lot of static tension in my body, and I can't do the diamond pose sitting on my calves. I sit on a pillow and can maintain this diamond position for 65 minutes. But before that, I sat in the butterfly pose for a long time. I learned to do the butterfly pose.
Can we pray during this time?
You should pray. You're cleansing the energy of knowledge, and prayer is also knowledge. Therefore, when a person doesn't move, prayer works much better.
Should we pray out loud?
It's always better to pray out loud.
What can we do with our hands?
You can even move your hands, make the sign of the cross. This doesn't affect static tension. The main thing is that the spine doesn't move, the head doesn't move, and the legs don't move. And you can make the sign of the cross with your hands, no problem.
Can we nod our head?
No, you shouldn't. Keep your head straight.
Can we do this in water? In the sea?
That would be the water cleansing you. That's not asceticism practice. Asceticism practice is when you strain yourself. If you're lying down, not moving, it's not asceticism practice, so you're not cleansing your body. You're sitting motionless, but you're not cleansing your body, because it's not asceticism practice. You need to do asceticism practice. The diamond pose cleanses the lower back and the spine, everything up to the upper body. But if you want to heal the head, specifically the head, you need to learn to stand. This is the most difficult static exercise. Standing is the hardest for most people. It's best to stand near a wall, and it's best to start by leaning against the wall and moving your feet away. And stay like this for 65 minutes. It's even better to start standing like this near a tree. Lean against the tree, move your feet away, and stand by the tree for 65 minutes.
Should we lean on it?
Lean on it and stand for 65 minutes. This is a simplified static exercise. This is for beginners.
What about church service that lasts 2 hours?
And you stand? That means you do double cleansing. That's good. It means you're healing yourself.
But we bow there.
If you've made a bow, that's it. You need to stay still.
Can we make the sign of the cross?
Yes, you can make the sign of the cross.
Or kneel?
Or kneel. That's also a static exercise. You can just kneel. This is also a static exercise. We stand near the wall. This is a more difficult version. We stand near the wall. If you start feeling worse, lean against the wall. Because if you don't lean against the wall and you start feeling a bit worse, you're reaching a blockage. Some people don't notice when they're about to faint. And that's why when a person is standing, they always fall face down. They always fall forward and hurt their face. To prevent this from happening, as soon as you start feeling a bit worse, immediately lean against the wall. And if you lose consciousness, you just slide down the wall and that's it. It's fine. No problems. You'll find yourself sitting.
Will the blockage be cleansed during this time or not?
No, a person loses consciousness because the body can't handle the blockage. Why does a person lose consciousness? They reach the blockage, blood pressure drops sharply, and that's it. When there is a static blockage, the blood vessels go into spasm. When a blockage occurs, blood can't move. Neither can the nervous system and impulses. A static blockage interferes with all types of movement. Everything in the body goes numb immediately. When you learn to stand near the wall without leaning on it, that's already very impressive. This is real healing. Real healing is when a person can maintain a position without using the simplified version. When they can sit in the non-simplified diamond pose for 65 minutes, in the non-simplified butterfly pose, this is already serious healing happening. Intense cleansing of energetic blockages. And during this intense healing, in about 6 to 7 months, all static blockages in the body get cleared. A new life begins. You become patient, your relationships improve. Because first the static tension is removed from the psyche, then the body starts to heal. All inflammatory processes get healed, and then fate begins to heal. If static tension influences relationships, and you don't even want to think about a person, the person irritates you, all of this will pass. You will feel calmness in relationships. And then there will be happiness ahead. As soon as you start cleansing static tension, you can then start prolonged continuous movement.
After how long?
Probably after about 2 weeks. You need to understand something. If you can't sit to cleanse more than 3 energy layers, you can do it for 40 minutes and that's it. Then you can't walk for more than 3 layers. If you sit for 3 layers but walk for 4, you will harm your body. Remember this, if you can sit for 3 layers but can't do the 4th, it means there's a blockage there. And if you try to walk for 4 layers, you'll reach that blockage and your pulse will start rising sharply. There will be a collapse. You might even fall down on the way. That's why everything needs to be done correctly. First we cleanse static tension, then dynamic tension. If we can stand or sit in the diamond pose for 4 layers, then we can walk for 4 layers. While we can do stationary position of the body every day, we can't do prolonged continuous movement every day. Because the strain on the body during this cleansing is much stronger. When a person walks at a medium pace, at a fairly brisk pace for 48 minutes, they cleanse 1 energy layer. Accordingly, 48 multiplied by 5 is 4 hours. If they walk at a brisk pace for 4 hours, it's about 21 kilometers. They cleanse all 5 layers of the human energy field. And such intense workout can only be done once every 5-6 days. The rule for walking is simple. 1 layer can be cleansed once a day. 2 layers once every 2 days, 3 layers once every 3 days, 4 layers once every 4 days, 5 layers once every 5 days. Is it clear? It's all simple. And how much? You need to multiply 48 by 2, that gives you 2 layers. 48 multiplied by 3 for 3 layers. 48 multiplied by 4 for 4 layers. 48 times 4, that's about 3 hours and 12 minutes. And 48 times 5 is 4 hours.
If we walk 48 minutes every day, is it the same layer that gets cleansed?
Yes, my dears. When you cleanse one layer, you only increase your workability, and that's all. You'll live well, but not for long. You'll only have good workability. Okay, let's move on. When a person is walking and something starts hurting, there are 2 types of pain. There's a dull pain. This means you need to keep walking, and the pain will definitely pass, trust me. And the second type of pain is sharp pain. This means you need to keep going, but slower. Because any pain means there is a blockage. You shouldn't stop at the blockage. For example, if you are in the water and you start shaking so much that you think you'll catch a cold, and you immediately get out of the water at that moment, you will definitely catch a cold. All colds occur when a person reaches a blockage and doesn't cleanse it. Therefore, if you want to get out of the water, you need to first wait until you stop shaking and only then get out. The same applies when you do static exercises. It's better to relax, then continue doing the pose again. Go through this blockage. If you feel it's difficult, you still need to go through this blockage. Otherwise, you will get sick. That means that if a person stops doing static exercise at the blockage, they increase all inflammatory processes in their body. Energy accumulates but doesn't flow through. If you go walking, you must wear a watch. A watch that shows pulse rate, distance, and of course all watches show time. And when you walk, watch your pulse rate. If the pulse spike goes up, let's say you're walking with a pulse of 110, then suddenly it's 120, 130, and after 5 minutes it's already 150. This means there's a blockage. And then when the spike goes down, it means you've cleansed the energetic blockage.
Can we listen to music while walking?
Yes, you should listen to lectures while walking. During walks, we listen to lectures. Leave your mobile phone at home or put it in airplane mode. You are in flight mode. If you talk on your mobile phone, there won't be any cleansing at all.
What about listening to lectures on mobile?
Yes, you can listen to lectures on your mobile. The mobile phone itself is not a problem. The problem is conversations. For example, when someone calls you and says, "Your house burned down, but everything else is fine." You see, you won't get any cleansing then. You'll get tension instead. And you'll make things even worse for yourself with this walk.
So it means I should walk alone, without my husband.
Yes, you know those pills which are called sleep alone.
Really, we can't walk together?
You can. You can even walk in groups, but don't talk about what's happening in Ukraine.
But what if we talk about you?
About me? Okay, you can talk about something good. You see, when you start talking about me, it all ends up with Ukraine anyway. As soon as you start talking about bad things, blockages immediately start accumulating in your body. Some people walk all day and get even worse. Why? Because they don't feel joy, don't wish happiness to others, but accumulate blockages during this time.
What if we walk and wish happiness to everyone?
It will be wonderful. How do you say "I wish happiness to everyone" in Ukrainian?
Я бажаю всім щастя.
Я бажаю всім щастя. You can walk and wish happiness to everyone, no problem. But as soon as you start saying something negative, blockages appear immediately. My job is to warn you, so you won't be surprised later wondering where hemorrhoids came from. Why is this happening? When you do prolonged continuous movement, everything will start healing. Your knees started hurting, it hurts for half a year, then the next one starts. Don't be afraid. If something aches in your body, or you're doing static exercises and something aches, it means it's healing. Don't be afraid of dull pain. Fear sharp pain. If there's sharp pain, it means you're doing something incorrectly. For example, you went walking and started feeling bad during the walk, or sharp pain appeared. This means you haven't completed your static exercises properly. It means you need to go back to doing stationary position of the body, and only then do prolonged continuous movement. It means you have too much static tension in your body. Because when a person goes through a dynamic blockage, their pulse just increases and that's all. But they feel good. But when there's static tension, body heat starts increasing, you start feeling bad. It becomes hard to breathe when walking. In this way we try to reach 4 hours. But know that everything depends on speed. When a person runs accordingly, they cleanse everything faster and more effectively. When a person walks slower, even in 4 hours, you might not complete the cleansing. Overall, I'll tell you one secret. On the website torsunov.ru, which by the way can also be switched to English, you can view everything in English. There is a materials section. In this section, there is a subsection, calculation of asceticism practice time. And you click on the running figure there and select how long you walked and what distance. And at the bottom, you'll see a number. There are whole numbers and fractions. You should look at the whole numbers and don't walk more than 5. That means the maximum whole number is 5. This means 5 layers. And the fractions are subdivisions of the layers. So you can walk at your pace, determine how many kilometers you walked in how much time, go to the website and see how many layers you've cleansed. And then with your pace, determine how long you need to walk to cleanse all 5 layers of the human energy field. Maybe if you walk very fast, it could be 3.5 hours. If you walk very slowly, it might be 4.5 hours. Is it clear? But if you go by distance, it's approximately 21 kilometers. The slower you walk, the longer the distance. The faster you walk, the shorter the distance. For example, I run at a pace of 6 minutes 30 seconds per kilometer. And when a person walks, it's usually 9 minutes per kilometer. Is it clear? So I run at a speed of about 9 kilometers per hour. And a person usually walks 5.5 kilometers per hour. So at a pace of 5.5 kilometers per hour, you need to walk for 4 hours. 4 hours multiplied by 5.5, how much is that? 22 kilometers, right? Well, a bit less, about 21 kilometers.
You can't really walk at a pace of 9 minutes per kilometer. 12 minutes is a comfortable pace.
12 minutes, yes? Well, then I was mistaken. Okay. I run 1 kilometer in 6.5 minutes. I run through all 5 layers in 1 hour and 50 minutes. That comes to 17 kilometers for me. So I run for 1 hour and 50 minutes once every 6 days according to schedule. 6 minutes 30 seconds per kilometer. At this speed, it comes to 17 kilometers. Takes only 1 hour and 50 minutes total. But I run fast. Well, it's an average pace. Good pace, right? So I run at this pace. But the slower you go, the longer it will take. To learn more on the subject of health and healing of the body, please make sure to read my health guide, available for download on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram page. Thank you very much, and see you soon.